What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the Dense Pixels podcast. Two-man booth, and making a surprise entry into this week's podcast, coming back from a self-imposed internet injury, is my co-host, Micah.
Yeah, I tore both of my internet quads, and I was just sitting there, mad at the outcome.
I actually, so TLD is reviewing the 05 Royal Rumble on this week's show, and I actually went back and watched the Rumble match. I forgot how ridiculous that moment was with Vince McMahon just sitting in the ring like a child. Because he had literally ripped both of his quadriceps off of the muscle, off of his, off the bone, and
that is how aggressively he walks.
Just what an amazing fucking situation that is. Just like I said, it's amazing that he blew out one, and then like I said, literally he blows out one getting into the ring, and then he blew out the other one trying to stand up once he blew out the first one. Like, how the fuck does that happen? And like the guys in the ring like had no idea what the like John Cena and Batista played it off as well as they could, but
these big beefy guys just looking at this, who was probably in his 60s at the time, this 60-year-old man pouting and yelling and screaming at them.
It's hilarious. And apparently, so I heard Edge talk about this after the fact. Apparently, like once they realized what had happened, they cleared out the backstage area because he wanted to get back to his like limo without any assistance because he's such a proud asshole, so that he could get to the hospital.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. So obviously, later in the show, we're going to be reviewing the 2020 Royal Rumble, which happened just this past weekend. If you're a video listener, don't worry, you're not going crazy. Yes, we're wearing two different outfits because we actually recorded the Royal Rumble portion of the podcast yesterday. And then we came back and did the video game stuff today. So, but we'll get to that later. Micah, you have not been here for like a month because you've been moving house. As video listeners or watchers can see, you have a nice new background here.
Yes.
To your video. But have you been playing anything new lately?
Not really.
Yeah.
There wasn't too much out there to play. I went back to Jedi Fallen Order because I never got through it. Mm-hmm. And I'm just kind of trying to get through that now. Mm-hmm. When we're done, Joker came out on Mortal Kombat, so I'll fool around with Joker for like 5 minutes.
Sad son of a bitch! I can't believe you're still playing that fucking game.
You know what? I kind of like it.
Oh God,
I kind of like it.
I will force you like Clockwork Orange style to listen to the podcast that we recorded in May when the game came out, and listen to you and Terrence bang on that game for 30 minutes, and see if you still feel the same way. I haven't been playing much either. I've barely touched my PlayStation 4 in like the past 6 weeks.
Yeah. Like
not very often. And plus I'm about to embark on a very interesting journey as far as video games go, because the gravy train is pulling out of the station, Micah. Which we'll talk.
Better get everything while you can.
Get all the getting's good. So we'll talk about that on a later show, because I have an idea for a special Dense Pixels premium episode.
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that more to come on that.
It'll be like our own Telltale game. Tales from.
Yep. So like I said, more to come on that down the road. New releases this week for the past 2 weeks, really. February is right around the corner. Xbox has announced their Games with Gold, and what a month it is, everybody. For the entire month of February, TT Isle of Man, which is like a motorcycle racing game, is available for free on the Xbox One.
You would never know with that title.
Yeah, you would not. You would not at all. From February 16th to March 15th, beware the Ides of March. Also beware Cthulhu, because the Call of Cthulhu is available for free on Xbox One. And then from the 1st through the 15th of February, you get Fable Heroes for Xbox 360 for free. And then from the 16th to 29th, you get Star Wars Battlefront. No, not that Star Wars Battlefront that came out 5 years ago, but the original Star Wars Battlefront that came out on the original Xbox back in the early aughts, whatever year that came out. So there's that. So
I don't remember Fable Heroes.
I don't remember Fable Heroes either. The cover art for the game does not look like a Fable game, quite frankly.
No.
So I don't know if that's Fable the way that we think of Fable for Xbox. But you can find out for free in just a couple of days. Also coming out over the last week and this week, Rugby 20 coming out for PS4, Xbox One, PC. Warcraft 3 Reforged coming out for PC. I know there's a lot of people excited about that. And then Journey to the Savage Planet came out today on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Yay, January new releases.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know. God, this is a terrible time.
plus also we're in the death cycle too. Like it's the last year before new consoles come out.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be tough sledding as far as this portion of the podcast this year.
Yeah, this console generation is lame ducking it right now. If you want to see a couple of lame ducks on YouTube, go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe. You can also support us. The best way to support us is by going to densepixels.com/premium and subscribing to TNP Studios premium network of shows. For $5 a month or $50 a year, you get access to a number of shows, including the Airing of Grievances, which is coming back. Now that I have moved, I can do them remotely. So we're going to get those on a more regular basis. No Time to Bleed. Look, here's a little behind the curtain thing. We generally tape 2 episodes of Black on Black Cinema a month. But what we're going to do now is tape 1 episode of Black on Black Cinema and 1 episode of No Time to Bleed. That way you are guaranteed to get a monthly episode of No Time to Bleed. And now that I have said that,
it will never
we have to do it. The real reason you subscribe to our premium slate of shows, The Men with the Golden Tongues.
Fuck yeah.
Which will also be back, and we'll be back with a doozy, because the next episode, the 2 hosts of that wonderful show will be reviewing Mission Impossible
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'm so used to just naming them by number, not
and again, if you have not listened to the last episode, which was the James Bond theme song tournament, do yourself a favor and pony up that sweet cash.
Yeah, tournament episodes are always fun. And the what some might say is the jewel in the crown, the MVP, the Iron Man of the premium network, the Look Forward Political Podcast. You see, we give you an hour of that for free to get you hooked, and then with all the political commentary and comedy, once you're hooked on it, we cut it off and say, you want that next hour? You gotta subscribe. And believe me, it's worth it, because it's like MSNBC after dark.
That is how we should advertise it, honestly. That's pretty fucking funny.
You can also subscribe to all of our free shows wherever you get your podcasts, including the flagship show, The Nerdpocalypse, Black on Black Cinema, which just aired an episode reviewing the latest Tyler Perry movie, which is just awful. Coming Distractions, our movie review show for new movies, and the free preview episode of Look Forward.
Very good. So getting into the news, delaypocalypse has happened over the last 2 weeks. So we talked last episode about Avengers getting delayed into September to hopefully figure out what that game is going to be. We've since also heard Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed to September as well. In addition, Dying Light 2 is delayed indefinitely, scheduled originally for spring of 2020, and now they've got no fucking idea. So, all the big video game news in 2020 so far has literally been delays, and then kind of layering an extra bit of kind of bad news on Cyberpunk is the fact that CD Projekt Red basically admitted that crunch is going to be necessary to get Cyberpunk out, even by the September release date.
I mean, I think it's adorable that people are idealistic and think that, crunch is just going to be eliminated now that everyone knows about it. Like, no, it's always going to happen, and it's just going to be, at least CD Projekt Red is upfront enough where it's like, this has to happen because we have deadlines to meet. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it is what it is. And, I vote with your dollar, I guess. I'm buying CD. I'm buying Cyberpunk. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Fortunately, people weren't too mad about the delays. I think we have at least as a fan base gotten over getting pissed off about games getting delayed, because I think we all understand now that it's about making the best product that you possibly can.
Absolutely. I mean, after the which Assassin's Creed was it? That was the French Revolution.
Unity.
Yeah, Unity. So. Yeah, Unity. After Unity came out and was just a broken mess, where they had to patch it with a 7 gig patch just to put faces on characters. Yeah, man. Delays. I don't mind delays. There are a plethora of games that you can play from multiple different sources. It's not like back in our day when we had 2 consoles and they were, games cost $80 and they were, you couldn't patch them, and once they were out, they were out. Well, a delay felt like forever.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just like, all right, it's a couple months. Big deal.
Yeah. So they'll be there. I just think it sucks that a lot of these games are now going to get pushed up very close to the new consoles dropping, which I think is not an ideal situation. But what are you going to do? Can't do nothing about that.
Yeah.
So look, we have a lot of fun on this podcast at the expense of Bethesda, particularly around Fallout 76.
Mm-hmm.
And we like to get our jollies in at poking fun at that just fucking shit show of a video game that they released. But if you're going to bang on them when they do bad, then you have to also report when they do good. So we reported it. Well, we didn't report it, but we talked about it a couple weeks ago how there's this glitch that people could walk up to people in the game and literally steal their entire inventories. And Bethesda didn't know what to do. Well, apparently they have made good on this by essentially players that were affected. They cloned earlier versions of their characters to replace the stolen items, which means in some cases they literally doubled the stock that players had of some of those items, which some of them are very valuable. And then they also gave the players 8 1,250 atoms. Atoms are the premium currency in Fallout 76. Now, to put things in context, if you buy the, Fallout First premium Fallout 76 membership, you get a monthly allowance of 1,650 atoms. So basically, you get 5 times more.
Yeah.
Or they've given some players 5 times more as like a make good for this situation.
I'm always a little leery of giving out like premium currency as a thank you. It's like isn't it just like a free hit of a drug that they kind of want you to get?
It also kind of shows you the level to which they value the currency. Like, if you're willing to just give this shit away for free, like, how the fuck should you value it to give them money for it, kind of thing?
Exactly. But I don't know. I guess that's just us thinking.
Yep. But hey, they took care of those kids.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Took care of them, and hopefully they gave them all that premium currency so that they can hurry up and spend it and buy some more premium currency.
So, and apparently there's some weird like altruism now going on, because like the players that had their inventories doubled by accident, like they have more shit than they know what to do with, so now they're just giving away like items in game to people. which like I said, considering the amount of like class textualization like things that have been going on inside of Fallout 76 anyway, is an amusing thing. So very, very, very cool. But like I said, good guy Bethesda. Good job making good on a really shitty situation for a very small subset of your players. We've been talking over the last several months about many streamers signing exclusivity deals with different platforms and things of that nature, as the streaming wars appear to be in full swing. Well, it's not just streamers that are getting in on the game. Overwatch and Call of Duty, their leagues, have signed deals with YouTube to make YouTube game, or well, I guess just YouTube at this point, the exclusive streaming platform for the Overwatch League and the Call of Duty League. Which is very interesting. And by the way, the Overwatch League, this is not just it's not just Overwatch. Blizzard has signed this deal, so that means Hearthstone is also going to YouTube exclusively. And as part of the deal, Activision Blizzard's online games will employ the Google Cloud to deliver, quote, superior low latency player experiences, including server infrastructure for hosting games. So apparently the 2020 season for the Overwatch League starts on February 8th. They were broadcast on Twitch beforehand, but as of this season, no longer. And the Call of Duty League kicks off this weekend, I think, on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So, Micah, what are your thoughts on arguably, I mean, between Hearthstone and Overwatch, two of the biggest, if not biggest, organized, streaming games going exclusively to YouTube and leaving Twitch in the dirt?
This is this is really good for Google, right? Because look, I don't do a lot of like watching streamers and specific games. Like the streamers I watch them for their personality, not necessarily because they do other things, and it's not a lot of them. Like I won't just turn on Twitch and just start watching stuff. So I don't know how equipped I am to answer this, but I feel like this is a good thing for Google.
Sure.
Have you ever watched E-League on like TBS?
I have actually. Not often. Not
because it comes on at like midnight or something stupid like that here. But.
So like Disney XD also does a lot of Overwatch League broadcasts as well. And if I'm sitting around at home on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon, and there's nothing like I've watched my football for the day, not fucking NFL, get the fuck out of here, soccer. If I watch my football for the day, and there's nothing, and I'm just kind of just lazing about, not really doing anything, I'll click over to the Overwatch League stream. I've done that a time or two before for sure.
Now, does this mean because I could have sworn watching E-League one time that I saw Overwatch. So does this mean that all these Blizzard games and Activision games they won't even be televised on that, right?
I don't think that has anything to do with one or the other, because the Disney XD stuff had nothing to do with Twitch. Like, there was no Twitch partnership involved with that. That was just a different broadcasting venue. So I don't think one hand has anything to do with the other in that case. Now, what's interesting, I think, so Twitch, you have to go to Twitch to watch stuff. So like Twitch can promote this content, but you still have to be on Twitch to watch it. And if you're not like a gamer per se, or if you're not someone who's inclined to watch Twitch, you're not going to find that content generally. But if you do play games and you don't watch Twitch, chances are pretty good that you probably use YouTube. And
everybody uses YouTube.
And so this could really grow their audience in some respects, because that content can easily be floated to the top of your homepage, or whatever else you've gone on. If you go to the live section, if there's an event going on, I'm sure it'll be one of the top 2 or 3 hits that go up there. So this could be very interesting, and this is one of the big advantages that YouTube offers. And I don't think that this is an advantage that trickles down to the individual streamer level, but it's a huge advantage for a league setting like you see, with this deal here that we have going on.
Yeah. So this is nothing, like I said, this is nothing but good for Google, man, because...
And I think ultimately it's good for Activision, for Activision Blizzard as well, to be quite frank.
Yeah. To get mainstream eyes, like super casual people's eyes on this, and maybe to who knows who you'll grab,
right?
Just kind of messing around YouTube. My wife will watch a video on YouTube if she thinks that other people have watched it. Like, if she sees that a video has 1 million views or whatever, she'll watch it just to see what's up, because she wants to be part of the zeitgeist. So.
Right. And for me personally, I probably, YouTube probably is the majority of my content consumption at this point. Like VOD is basically the only thing I do. I watch very little broadcast television unless it's like a live sporting event of some kind.
Right.
So like I said, very, very interesting moves. And I don't think that story got as much play as it probably should, because I think it's a pretty big fucking deal as we go. So last week, Nintendo did a Nintendo Direct specifically for the new Smash Brothers character. Now, you had to know, I watched a little bit of it. I watched the beginning of it. You had to know that some fuckery was afoot when Sakurai immediately tempered expectations coming right into the stream. Like, he said something along like, now just, not everyone might like this character, but just remember that they can't all be bangers, basically.
He straight up said that, man. He was like, okay, like, I know everybody's like, oh, is it Dante? Oh, is it John Cena? Oh, is it Wolverine?
Keep in mind, this was the last character of the first Fighter Pass that they're putting in. Now they're doing another Fighters Pass for Smash Brothers. So they're going to continue coming out with new characters for this game, but people were expecting, I guess, like a grand send off for this first Fighters Pass, and instead we got Byleth.
We got another
from Fire Emblem. So apparently Byleth is available in male or female form. This is your avatar character in Fire Emblem Three Houses. And like I said, I have to tell you, in watching the internet reaction in real time, once that announce happened, the crowd went mild on that news. It was one of the most underwhelming announcements that I've ever seen in my entire life. This was the only announcement that I've ever seen where the Mii fighter costumes got more play than the actual character, because the Mii, like for your Mii fighter, they added costumes for Cuphead, they added Assassin's Creed costume, they added a Rabbids costume, Mega Man X got a costume. Like, people are like, that shit's amazing. We don't, like, well, we got a 12th Fire Emblem character? Woo! Like, what the fuck?
And here's the thing, right? Like, wow, did you just say 12 Fire Emblem?
I pulled that number out of my ass, but the fact that you believed it tells you everything that you need to know.
Really did, man.
See? Because it's plausible. The fact that that's even plausible is insane.
Oh shit. The fact that the fact that Cuphead is not in this is a travesty.
I know. It's right there. It's Cuphead is literally sitting on a fucking tee for you to just like that's a gimme. Like that's a meatball coming over the fucking heart of the plate for you to smash into the seats.
I mean, it would have been, you got Cuphead and Mugman, right? You got your two different forms, and then you can have 4 colors of each of those, and the stage would have been beautiful. The music would have been beautiful. Oh my God, man! The fact that Cuphead is a Mii costume is just a slap in the face. Like, come on, yo.
Like I don't know. Like I said, it's just another. It's I can't believe they did another Fire Emblem character, another dude with a sword. Because I don't know who the fuck those people are. Look, I know there are diehard Fire Emblem fans out there. I know just from our fan group that Three Houses brought in a whole new contingent of Fire Emblem players to the franchise that had never seen a Fire Emblem game before, and that will probably get the next Fire Emblem game. And that series is only going to grow in popularity as time goes along. But again, it's another blue-haired person with a fucking sword. There's like 3 of them in the game already, at least.
Oh my God!
And the best part was, like, they did the thing where, like, they had like the cutscene play out, and like people were waiting for like the swerve to happen, and it just never came. And then eventually they went into like the moveset, and then people were like, "Oh, this is it." Oh, they really did it. They really fucking did it. So
apparently there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Fire Emblem characters, not including Byleth.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2.
Now, but aren't
three,
there?
Four, 5,
don't
6,
those
7.
characters also have like mirrors or whatever the fuck the term they use in that game is? Like all characters that play the same?
Some of them are like palette swaps.
Yeah.
So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 individual characters.
Oh, okay.
And then palette swaps of a couple of them.
Okay. So you're saying that when I said 12, I was off, but not by that much.
I mean,
fair.
Yo.
Fire Emblem literally constitutes 1/10 of the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate roster. Now.
Look, I'm talking all this mess right now. I'm going to talk about Fire Emblem in a little bit, but when I saw
it,
this,
it feels unacceptable to me. Like it feels like it's too much. Like who is that for? Who is it for? Even the Fire Emblem fans are like, guys, this is too many Fire Emblem characters. Like you need to settle down.
Like at least the other characters, from what I understand, are like legendary characters. Like Byleth hasn't been around long enough to be a legendary character. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know, man.
Well, you got a whole new season of characters to look forward to for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
I gotta see what the first one is.
We shall see.
Yeah, because I really thought they would kind of go outside of the box.
You'd hope that they would, especially with this new relationship now that they have with Microsoft. Like, there's so much opportunity there to dive into the Xbox side of the pool with this stuff. So maybe they're in the works. Who knows? Like I said, we got a whole 5 new characters that'll be coming over the course of the next year. So finally in the news, Destiny put out a patch 2.7.1 for Destiny 2. It broke a lot of shit. They had to take the game down for emergency maintenance today, apparently. But as the fans of Destiny are wont to do, they data mined the patch and found that there is a mission that will likely lead to the restoration of the lighthouse on Mercury, which means Trials of Osiris is coming back to Destiny. Finally, people have been wanting Trials to return for pretty much the existence of Destiny 2. If you guys remember when Destiny 2 first came out, they had Trials of the Nine, which was a new version of Trials of Osiris, which was not well received. That ended after the first year. I don't even know if it made it to the first year of Destiny 2. Bungie said for a while that Trials of the Nine is not expected to return. It was on hiatus indefinitely. Once they made elimination, like 3v3 elimination, a regular playlist in the Crucible pool at the beginning of when Shadowkeep came out, there was a lot of rampant speculation that you were going to see Trials of Osiris specifically return to the mix. And now it seems that one of the worst kept secrets in Destiny has been spoiled at this point. It's bittersweet news for me because I'm using this to springboard into an interesting conversation. And that is that, Micah, I don't know if I'm done with Destiny or not. Like, I might actually be done with Destiny is the better way.
Okay. I was about to
yeah. I've skipped this season entirely. I played through most of the season when Shadowkeep first came out, the season of the Undying. But this new season that came out, I have not touched, just because I've been busy with other things and lots been going on in my life outside of video games. But I haven't felt like the yearning to come back to Destiny.
I think, look, this is a time that every Destiny player faces, right? And normally, it's just Destiny burnout, right? Because as fun as Destiny is, it eventually can feel a little samey. And you played it on a regular basis, and you were good at it, right? But other stuff comes out, and things that are a little more interesting come out, and at this point, I'm just kind of waiting for like Cyberpunk and stuff like that to come out, and that's what's really got me going. You'll be back on Destiny.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah, you'll be back on Destiny.
It is cool. Like it's kind of wild because like you'd think that the seasonal structure makes it harder to walk away from the game. In reality, it's just the opposite. Like I'm kind of like sitting back, observing this season from afar, saying, there's some cool things happening, but I don't feel like I have to get into it this season. But when the next season does roll around, I won't feel like I missed anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Like I said, I've been at a crisis of faith with that lately. And I was wondering if I was going to go back. But you're probably right. I'm sure that, once I've had some, once I've gotten to miss it, that I'll be back into the fold.
Yeah.
So that is your quick news for the week.
Go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon for all of your Amazon purchases. When you go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon, you help us out. Every purchase you make, we get a little bit of a finder's fee. It's not much, but it is the easiest way. If subscribing to densepixels.com/premium is the best way, going to densepixels.com/Amazon for your Amazon purchases is the easiest way.
Right. And look, from now, starting very soon, I no longer have to feel guilty about telling you guys to purchase your video games from www.deathpixels.com/Amazon. So the guilt will have subsided within me. So the only big topic of the week we have. So we've been doing our top fives. Me and Carrie did it at the end of the year. Terrence came back to the show after a couple weeks off. He gave us his top five for the year for 2019. But it's Micah's first time being back since we laid out all the top five lists. So Micah, I am curious, in no particular order, no particular order, except I would be curious to know at the end which is your game of the year for 2019.
In no particular order, I really enjoyed Borderlands. It was Borderlands was exactly what I wanted, and I got it, and I got a whole lot of it. I have 2 characters at level 50, and I'm working on a third slowly. You know, Borderlands is one of those games where I could just kind of pick it up and just kind of veg out.
Maybe that's what I need to jump back into. I haven't really been playing Borderlands for the last month or so, and I haven't touched the new expansion content at all.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. That's what I need to do. I haven't like Mad Moxie's like Handsome Jack
Casino something. Yeah.
So. But yeah, I Borderlands is a fun game that you can always just kind of go back to. Devil May Cry 5 is the best action game I've ever played. It just is, man. Capcom knows what they're doing. When Capcom gives a shit, like they really produce quality content. And Devil May Cry, I mean, just the amount of options and controls that you have over these 3 very different characters is pretty amazing for a character action like hack and slash beat 'em up. Like it is the pinnacle of the genre. Devil May Cry 5. It's excellent, man. Outer Worlds is the RPG that I've wanted since Mass Effect, man. Like it was, no disrespect to, not much disrespect to Mass Effect Andromeda, but Outer Worlds has the setting and the characters and the writing, with playable mechanics, right? Like it's not broken, which is a shame that is a bullet point in a game's favor now. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Outer Worlds. Resident Evil 2. Look, man. Look, again, when Capcom is on his game, it really is on his game. And Resident Evil 2 is the game that brought people into survival horror. And that game, I've played that game plenty of times. That game gets scarier when you play this version of it. Like it's just this is how when I imagine like remakes and remasters and stuff like that, this is what I imagine. Not, some PS2 game that was up-resed,
right,
and running at 60 frames.
I do think that between the Resident Evil games and then when we get Final Fantasy VII in a couple months, like that's going to be kind of like the new bar by which remasters are judged from now on, essentially. So
yeah,
and it's like, hey, if you ain't gonna bring this to the table, then just don't even bother fucking coming to the door. So
yeah, I don't know if I have another game that's on the level of those games.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite, I guess, like off the beaten path game this year, like indie game or just like B-level title, like that kind of thing?
I like Children of Morta.
Mm-hmm.
For I got that for the Switch. That's actually a really fun game, and it's an actual, like, it has a decent enough story about this family who I remember liking that game a lot.
Did you play Bloodstained?
On the Switch, so
yeah. Apparently it's fixed now. Like, I was actually thinking about buying it because apparently the patches that they put out have mostly taken care of the issues that the game had.
I'll have to see if there's an update for it. Did Ultimate Alliance 3 come out last year?
It did.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3?
Yes, it did.
That would probably be my 5th game then, because I played the hell out of that game. And while I am kind of like, I bought the season pass and I've played a bit of it because I thought they would like add story content, and they don't. It's just like a bunch of remixed versions of areas that you've already explored with different modifiers. The base game is really fun. I don't know if the expansion is worth it, but I bought it because, my boy's going to be in it. And of course, he's the last one. The Doctor Doom expansion pack, well, the Fantastic Four expansion pack. But yeah, that'll probably be the 5th game because I played the hell out of that game.
So of your 5 then, what is your game of the year for 2019?
I mean, it's a toss up between the Outer Worlds, which fits my aesthetic in terms of how I like my fiction. I like science fiction and stuff like that. But on a pure, like, visceral gameplay level, it might be Devil May Cry 5.
That's interesting.
That game is the best in its genre. It is the best in its genre. And I can't say that about the other games on my list.
So, I mean, Terrence had that as his number 1 game of the year as well. I guess by default, it kind of has to be the official Dense Pixels endorsed game of the year, which with an honorable mention to Outer Worlds, because Outer Worlds did show up on 3 of our lists.
Oh, there you go.
This year, so I guess there you go. So if you were looking for the official Dense Pixels game of the year, it would be Devil May Cry 5 for the year 2019. So very cool. Well, I'm glad that I'm a little surprised that your list was very much like a chalk pick list.
Yeah, it was. I mean, as many games as I have played, that's just the type of gamer I am. I'm more of a mainstream gamer. Like, I'll delve into, like, I'm starting to open up to like more indie games and stuff like that now that I have a Switch. But if it's not on the Switch, I'm not playing it.
and I know, like I said, I have a feeling that I'm going to really enjoy Bloodstained. I got the itch to play it because I finally sat down and watched the Castlevania series on Netflix, which was really good. By the way, have you seen it yet?
I have not.
Yeah.
Which does it star the Belmonts?
It does. Well, it's good. It does star Trevor Belmont. It doesn't star.
Okay. As long as it's not Richter.
It's not Richter.
I think I'm okay.
No, it's not Richter. And it's good. It's it's 2 seasons. There's 12 episodes. They're each like a half an hour. I literally banged out the first season in one sitting.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't know they were a half an hour. I can do that.
Yeah, it's very good. There's some surprises that I won't spoil for you, but if you like Castlevania 3, like if you're in that part of the universe, that's kind of where it resides for the most part. And they sure wait a while to throw that fucking Castlevania theme at you, but when they do, it's a doozy. Friend of mine warned me about that. He's like, I'm not gonna tell you when it happens. He's like, but it fucking happens, and you're gonna be fucking geeking out for it. And he was correct.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
We're going to do the housekeeping now. Obviously, if you want to hear the Royal Rumble talk, don't stop the podcast. Stay tuned. But if you're checking out, you're not going to listen to our review of the 2020 Royal Rumble. We will just tell you to make sure that you follow, join our fan group on Facebook, densepixels.com/fans to get there. As Micah mentioned earlier, wherever you get your podcast, subscribe not only to Dense Pixels, but all of the other fantastic TNP Studios shows that we make for your enjoyment and pleasure. Subscribe to this channel on YouTube, youtube.com/densepixels. And again, consider becoming a premium member by going to densepixels.com/premium. And you can follow Carrie on Twitch at Subbits Carrie. You can follow Terrence at Apparition410. And you can follow me on the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. I may have more time to start streaming soon. I'm going to maybe see if I can put aside a day a week to do that. That's kind of a unofficial resolution that I made.
If you stream a multiplayer game and you want some banter back and forth, let me know and I will hop on. That is probably the only way you will get me. Anyone will hear me on a stream.
It's amazing how easy it is to actually schedule these things once you once you're a normal guy. So that is it for the video game side of the podcast. If you guys are checking out, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. But coming up next, my and Micah's review of the 2020 WWE Royal Rumble. So, Royal Rumble this past week, past Sunday, from Houston, Texas. Of course, you guys know if you've listened to the show before, this is mine and Micah's favorite event on the calendar. It might not be as good as WrestleMania usually, but god damn it, the Royal Rumble match is just too much fun, and now we get two of them every year.
The Royal Rumble match is the greatest storytelling device that has ever been created for professional wrestling.
That's a bold claim. That is 100% correct.
Yeah, and this past Royal Rumble, at least with the men's Royal Rumble, is a pitch perfect example of why it is awesome.
We are going to get into it because holy shit. Did Brock Lesnar just do the "This Is Your Life" Brock Lesnar like career tour for the first half of the entire Royal Rumble? We will get there. There were two matches on the pre-show that would have probably made the normal card in any other pay-per-view because the Rumble takes over an hour for each one. You got to bump these matches down. I was pleasantly surprised with the Sheamus Shorty G matchup that they had with each other. It was a really good match. I thought they were going to actually just do like a Sheamus squash because this was his return match from injury from a while back. But these guys put together like a 17-minute match basically that was really well performed. Sheamus has a lot more like mat-driven, hold-driven offense than he ever has had before. He used to be pretty much an Impact guy. And it looks like he has evolved his style a little bit. Chad Gable continues to be one of the best mid-card hands in WWE. It would be nice if he could figure out a personality that works, that goes with his wrestling skills, because he's got like a future Intercontinental Champion vibe all over him. What say you about the Chad Gable Sheamus matchup?
So I didn't get a chance to sit down and really pay attention to these two matches because, we had other stuff going on. But I agree with you with Shorty G. He's got all the talent. He just doesn't have the physical stature. And, this is kind of a looks-based business. Like you gotta have some size on you.
Well, look, we've learned that all he has to do is grow his hair out and grow a really straggly beard, and then he too can be a world champion one day. But Sheamus gets the win with a brogue kick to the surprise of literally nobody who pays attention to professional wrestling.
Yeah.
The other pre-show match I was expecting more from. Humberto Carrillo unsuccessfully challenged for the United States Championship against Andrade. These guys specifically have put on better matches than this. It wasn't very crisp. And the ending was kind of a prelude of more to come from these guys. Andrade won on a roll up. That's usually not how you end a feud, typically. So I'd imagine that these two will probably be wrestling again at some point.
Now, is it me or did Humberto Carrillo just come out of nowhere?
Well, he was on NXT for a hot minute. Like he was like an up and comer on NXT, and then for reasons unknown, I guess Vince McMahon thought he has like a great look or has a great skill set, or I don't know. Like they shot him up to the card pretty quickly and have put him in with other Mexican wrestlers, essentially. He's a very good wrestler, but he's not. There's nothing to his gimmick that really, has made him get on anyone's radar yet.
Yeah, he's got like this Ultimo Dragon looking like chess piece, but I'm not necessarily getting an Ultimo Dragon vibe from him. And I mean, he seems like a good dude. Rey Mysterio. A couple of months ago, we're really putting them over. Like, hey man, you are the future of the Latin, wrestlers in WWE, and I love you, man. And I was like, wow, Rey Mysterio really putting this dude over, man.
I would accuse you of being overly racist, but that was actually a pretty good Rey Mysterio impersonation. So. But yeah, we're gonna see more from these guys. So it'll be interesting to see if I don't think they're gonna put the belt on Humberto Carrillo though. Like it's like he managed to get from NXT to 205 Live to the main roster in like 6 weeks, basically.
Yeah, it's very odd. And what belt would you put on him? I mean,
it's tough though. It's tough because like I guess they value him more than being on 205. But is he really ready to hold like a mid-card championship? I don't think so.
No, man.
Not yet. Especially considering who's been holding those belts lately. Like, it's not like they're putting them on up-and-comers recently. Like, AJ Styles had it before. Rey Mysterio just had it recently. AJ Styles had it recently. Shinsuke Nakamura has the Intercontinental Championship right now, so...
I mean, it appears that these belts are just like the foreign belts now, because WWE knows that you've got these wrestlers from all around the world. That's what the first W is in WWE, but they don't know what to do with them, either because they don't let them talk or they don't talk the way WWE wants them to talk. Mm-hmm. And by talk, like these people know English, like I mean, like the scripts, right?
Right.
And but they know that I guess they know that wrestling fans will pitch a fit if their darlings don't receive some sort of recognition. Like I saw Shinsuke Nakamura yesterday, and then I was reminded that he was the Intercontinental Championship and that the belt looked different.
Yeah. That is correct.
It's like, what are they doing with it?
Not much right now.
All right, quick tangent.
Uh-huh.
Does WWE have too many belts?
It's not that they have too many belts, I don't think. The problem is that you have 2 world championships currently. Now, more now than in any other point in history before it. Do the world titles now feel wholly distinct? Because you remember, like, especially during the aughts, during the first decade of the 2000s, like when they had both world titles, one of them was definitely of higher stature than the other one, and which one that was, flipped depending on whether Triple H had it or not. But for the most part, one of them had a higher stature than the other one did for different periods of time. For the first time ever, like the Universal title that Bray Wyatt holds doesn't feel lesser than the WWE Championship that Brock Lesnar holds, because the shows finally feel distinctly different, I guess.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the Intercontinental title is not being used as much in the same way that it used to be, where it used to be like the belt that you got on the way up the card.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Like now it's firmly like the belt that they're throwing around the mid card with guys that just happen to not be in the main event right now, but typically would be at any given time.
Yeah.
So it's weird, but we'll see.
Yeah, it is. What do you think about? I mean, I know Brock Lesnar ain't carrying two damn belts. Like, that is a quote from him. But I've always wondered, like, all right, well, you got to show you each show has its own champion. Why not have a WWE champion, like at Night of Champions, the Universal and the WWE champion fight to be, king of WWE or whatever.
I mean, they've done that before. But I don't think that works when you have two separate shows. I mean, Brock Lesnar can't even show up to one show, much less being on two shows.
Yeah.
So I think having two world titles is necessary. I just don't know that your mid card, like your established guys, don't need to be, fighting for a belt in a mid card feud. Like Andrade having the US title is fine because he's coming up the card. Yeah. I don't think he needs to drop it to like a Rey Mysterio, for example, at this point in time.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio is, he's firmly at that point in his career where he is actively trying to put over these two guys,
which is good.
And, like I said, you're supposed to. So. You're supposed to.
So let's get to the main card. One of the worst choices for a pay-per-view opening match of all time is the Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin Falls Count Anywhere. Now, I saw it mentioned in a recap that this was the only place that they could put it on the card where the crowd would not run the risk of like turning against it, which is correct.
Yeah.
Which is correct. However, a Falls Count Anywhere match where the two guys are just going to be spending time dragging each other around the arena for lots of time is not going to get the crowd buzzing the way that you normally want out of your opening match, no matter how many table spots you do.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of them in this match for sure. I also came to the realization that chaining you up to a turnbuckle and dumping dog food all over your head could possibly be the greatest insult that you personally, Micah, could ever endure in your entire life.
I mean, Baron Corbin would have to have a Darren Drozdov type accident in the ring, because I would not abide by that. Now that I say that, I that might be considered insensitive, and I'm not trying to be insensitive, but no, I would be pissed. I would be fucking pissed. Like, it's gross. Gross. You ever look at dog food?
Oh yeah,
it looks like fucking chewed up kibbles and just gross.
And like I said, you can wash it out of your hair easily. I'm sure Roman Reigns had to spend a lot of time.
He had to pick it.
Oh, it's gross.
He had to comb it out.
Now here's one of those dumb wrestling things. You have to suspend the disbelief for the wrestling. So this is a Falls Count Anywhere match. The King's Court, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode have been getting involved, and it required the Usos to come get Roman Reigns' back. But now you have Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns in a no disqualifications match that can literally go anywhere in the arena. From the logical standpoint, why wouldn't the other four guys just be involved in perpetuity?
Yeah,
in this match, right? Like, there's no reason not to be. I mean, and now it's funny because as I was typing that thought out, literally when I hit period is when everyone appeared to join into the match. I was like, well, I guess I predicted that. It took 15 minutes, but they're all here now. Thank goodness. My kingdom for a steady cam during that whole segment, by the way, because holy shit, the guy operating the handheld camera had to be having a seizure the entire time because it was just shaking all over the place. I was getting sick from it. It was terrible.
Yeah, he went to the NYPD Blue Film School for cinematography because he's just holding this thing. I'm looking at it now, and it's like, okay, like the guys are just walking. Like, why is he doing this? The guys are just walking, guys. Like, I know it's crowded in there, but like, clear a path, people.
Right. Now, I will say, the ending of the match was pretty cool. So basically, Reigns and Corbin fought out to the Astros dugout, and then Reigns speared Corbin on top of the dugout and pinned him right there. By the way, happens less frequently than you might imagine that a falls count anywhere actually has the fall happen anywhere. Normally they find a way to get themselves back into the ring, which completely defeats the fucking purpose of the match. But so I'm glad they decided not to do that here. Yeah. Goddamn, that match did not need to last 25 minutes though. And please God, can we be done with this fucking feud between these two?
Yeah, it's kind of dumb, man. Like I just don't understand. Like, I like Corbin, right? I think he's a great heel, and I like Roman Reigns. It's just that the reason they're fighting, I don't even remember the reason they're fighting. Is it just?
I feel like it just came of disrespect. Like Corbin, like was like, I'm the king of SmackDown, and Roman Reigns like, you're a bitch, and he took offense to that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there was I can't remember if there's a specific inciting incident that caused this to happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, it's fine, right? It's wrestling. You don't need a
but it shouldn't last for 3 months.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like feud. I don't mind a long feud, but it's got to be like of substance.
Right.
There's
got to be stakes. Like there's still nothing on the line, but just bragging rights between these two guys right now.
Exactly. Like, where are the feuds where the livelihood of a child is on the line and all you have to do is climb a ladder to own a child?
Oh my God. What a I'm if the dudes on Time Limit Draw are listening to this, and Johnny is, so Johnny can pass this along. I feel like they have to do SummerSlam 05 at some point. Because between the custody of Dominic match and then Shawn Michaels just showing his ass in front of Hulk Hogan, like, that's a fucking fantastic pay-per-view to review. But crap. So there you go. So we get from that right into the Women's Royal Rumble match. Now they only had 10 announced entrants into this one. There weren't a ton of surprises unless you consider certain NXT superstars being surprise entrants. Like Mercedes Martinez showing up was probably surprising to a lot of folks. Chelsea Green, who wrestled on Raw recently, Shotzi Blackheart, that kind of stuff. The few legitimate surprises. So Molly Holly came back. She was the number 3 entrant into the match.
Is Molly Holly a surprise at this point?
I mean, she's still not around.
She's not around,
except for this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
I kind of expected it.
Okay. That's fair. I guess you would lump Beth Phoenix into the same category then.
I would be disappointed if she did not.
Fair enough.
She's there every week. I would be disappointed if she didn't show up, because she seems like the type that is itching to get back in the ring.
Right. Kelly, the one surprise entrant that people don't need to see every year, but yet we do. And then look, a lot of people were really upset about this last one. So we'll talk about Santina Marella up at the top at number 29. So listen, there were a lot of folks out there that were really upset because Sasha Banks was not in this Rumble match, but Santina Marella was, and had a funny moment with Beth Phoenix and Natalia. Like say what you will, that was fucking funny. Yeah, and especially especially with the callback, right? It's a callback to history. So I ask you people out there that were upset that you didn't get Sasha Banks. Would you have rather Sasha Banks had come in at 29, last for 5 minutes, and get ignominiously tossed out of that match? Like, would that have made you feel better just having her in the match but not do shit?
Right.
Because I feel like those are your options. So,
or have her win it, because I feel like if she won it, people would have a problem with it. If she came in at 29, won it, the way people are acting now, I feel like people might have an issue with it. I don't know what would be worse, right? Like, what would get more backlash, her coming in and not doing anything, or her coming in late and just kind of winning it?
Do you need the answer to that question? Do you not remember the Daniel Bryan 2015 Rumble when he just got eliminated halfway through the match with no fucking build up at all, and the fans turned against the match the rest of the way? And
at the back they put Gold Dust came out next, and Goldust's like Titantron thing starts with Shattered Dreams.
I forgot about that part. So yes, I don't think I get why people are upset that Sasha Banks wasn't in it.
Plus, I heard she was injured. Like she had some sort of I heard she had some sort of injury, which is
and it was her birthday. So
it was her birthday. Man, come on, yo. Yeah. let her eat cake, man.
But look, like I said, Santina Morella cobra'd herself. Like that shit's hilarious.
And it was funny, man. It was funny. It takes the piss out of it's a silly moment, and it takes the piss out of remember when Santina was the first
Miss WrestleMania? Yeah. Like that's
Miss
the whole
on,
yeah.
Man.
Like, come on.
Like the this is comeuppance for that. This is WWE Apollo. Like, hey, we kind of messed up.
So, couple big moments. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this fucking what's the I can't think of her goddamn name now. Mandy Rose Otis situation. But man, how shitty do you have to be Kofi Kingston and have like be known for all these amazing Royal Rumble saves, and then like in one night like fucking Mandy Rose gets a better save than anything you could have ever done. Because it was completely out of nowhere. Like she gets thrown over the rope and people are like, oh shit, she's out. And then the camera cuts over. There's Otis fucking on the ground with her standing on top of him. That shit was hilarious.
It was hilarious, man. It was hilarious. I kind of like this like weird love triangle thing that they're doing.
Right. And then it backfired later because he caught her and then he tried to catch Sonya Deville at the same time and it eliminated both of them. So like that stuff was fucking hilarious.
I'm curious to see how far they go with this, right? Because Sonya Deville is an out and proud lesbian wrestler. I think she's one of the few that is actually like out. And there's a lot of allusions to, before the match, both of them were being interviewed and Sonya Deville said, if it comes down to the two of us, I'll go over the top rope because I'll never turn on my partner, right? And meanwhile Otis is trying to shoot his shot, right? And it's I don't know, man. I'm very curious. I'm curious about this.
If they play their cards right, they could have the end of this feud be Mandy Rose being like a legit mega heel in the women's division. Because I don't see any other way this feud ends other than Mandy Rose coming out being like one of the most hated wrestlers in the company.
Oh yeah.
So they just have to play their cards right and they got to take their time. But I think that they could do it for sure. What do you think about Alexa Bliss using Bianca Belair's hair to stave off an elimination?
I mean, look, I love Bianca Belair. I feel like Bianca Belair is like almost there. I feel like
I think they think she is there because I mean, if you look at the fact that I think she was the Iron Woman in the match. I'm pretty sure. I don't think that Charlotte was in longer than she was time wise. I'd have to go back and see. But between how they booked her, I mean, she also had like 8 eliminations or something stupid like that.
Yeah,
in the match.
Yeah.
So between how they booked her in that sense, and then you go back and she looks strong as shit at Survivor Series as well. I feel like that they have her earmarked for bigger things. And probably not too long from now.
I hope so because she's got the look and she's got like I think she's got the personality. But there's a sneaking suspicion that I think that WWE thinks she's kind of like where Braun Strowman is. Like Braun Strowman is a great attraction and can move and can work and is okay on the mic, but they haven't really they've tried, but they haven't really done anything. And I don't want that for her. I want her to be up there with. I want her and Shayna Baszler to be what Charlotte and
Becky Lynch.
Yeah. I want that type of elevation for them. In terms of Alexa Bliss using the hair, look, Genius.
Right. And like I said, it came back to get her later because that's how she got thrown out as well, because Bianca Belair basically threw her into the turnbuckle using her hair to knock her off the thing. And like I said, Bianca Belair had a good reaction shot when she was in the ring by herself, and then very next person coming out is Charlotte Flair, the old mid Rumble reset.
Yeah,
which we got two of those tonight. Doesn't usually happen that often. So how about that nasty head injury that Beth Phoenix had?
Oh yeah, she looked like a redhead, man.
Like I said, she was worrying me for a second because either she was doing a fantastic job of selling that, or she was like legitimately woozy from blood loss. But since she stayed, I'm assuming that she wasn't that bad off.
Yeah.
So,
goodness gracious.
Very interesting night for the Copelands. More on that later on. But yeah, so like I said, it comes down to Shayna Baszler and Charlotte Flair. A feud that I am ready to fucking see. Like, I'm ready to fucking see that feud pop off, like, for real. And Charlotte wins the match. A lot of people were not upset about this, or were upset about this, rather. I have my thoughts on it. I'll get your thoughts first, though.
I've always said this. I think Charlotte is top 5 women in the company. Maybe top 10 wrestler in the company. I know a lot of people think that since her last name's Flair, she's getting the rub, but no, Charlotte can work, man. Charlotte can work. And if the only problem I see with Charlotte is that she's one of those wrestlers that can't switch. She's either she's a heel. She needs to be a heel. She doesn't have that type of versatility. She has to play up she's the Beyonce of women's wrestling. And I think she's amazing. Now, I think that if they play this right, they could push hard a Shayna Baszler, or have Charlotte come down to NXT because she's the queen or whatever, right? She can come down to NXT and prove it and show that NXT is the third brand, quote unquote, for a reason, and to challenge the most dominant person there, Shayna Baszler. They can still do this, and they can have this at WrestleMania, and I really hope they do.
Well, see, so I'm in a different place than you are right now. So you have Charlotte and you have Becky Lynch. They're both in their prime years right now. They're both at the top of their game right now. This is quite literally this era's Rock Austin, where you have two people at the same point on the card, at the same point in their careers, that are going to be all-time greats, that the crowd is fully invested in. And you only have so many of those shots to have them headline your biggest event. So I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that she's going to fight Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. And people are like, oh, same old crap. I'm like, yeah, but when it's amazing,
yeah,
that's what people are going to tune in for.
When it works, man. Like, right. There's a reason why rematches happen.
Right. And again, they can have a really cool build to this. Like, no one at WrestleMania I was going to say 17. No one at WrestleMania X7 was like, looking at Rock and Steve Austin like, oh, same old crap. We saw this at WrestleMania 15. Like, no, right. You were ready for that fucking feud to pop off again. And look, like I said, the weakest part of the match last year at WrestleMania was the fact that Ronda Rousey was involved.
Yeah.
So, like I said, now you have these two one-on-one, and I think that was the right choice. It's not you're not always going to get the new person winning the Royal Rumble. Sometimes you go with the person who it makes sense to go with. It's another accolade for Charlotte to add to her cabinet of accolades, and that stuff matters. So yeah, I wasn't at all upset, and I predicted she was my prediction anyway, so I wasn't too miffed about that at all.
There you go.
Bayley successfully defended the SmackDown World Championship against Lacey Evans. What did
So
it?
I haven't had a chance to really watch a lot of SmackDown. Lacey Evans is a face.
Yes, she's a face now, and the crowd is kind of taking to it, which is surprising.
Is she still talking?
Yeah, she is.
Like she did before. Like she's just not.
She's not calling like the crowd nasty anymore. She's calling the other women wrestlers like nasty women, this, that, or the other. And she talks about her service, and she talks about her daughter, and everything's being like they're giving her the generic baby face, bring up. They're making it difficult to cheer against her. I know a lot of people still want to because of things in her past, I guess. But
because I have it on in the background, and right at the beginning of the match, she did the salute.
Right.
I'm like, well, you can't boo a troop.
No, and like I said, it's she is a insight into the mind of one Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Oh, absolutely.
She's tall. She's blonde. She used to be in the military. If there's anyone that would ever be pushed by Vince McMahon, Lacey Evans was put on this earth for that specific purpose. The match was underwhelming, though. Bayley, this is the classic example of somebody carrying someone through the match who is not quite ready for that primetime spot. Like, Bayley did everything she could, I think, here to make this as good a match as she can. I just don't think Lacey Evans is at that level yet. She didn't spend enough time in NXT. When it boils down to it, she got brought up too fast.
Yeah.
So, but Bayley retains as she should, for sure. So, The Fiend and Daniel Bryan fighting for the Universal Championship in a strap match, which we have not seen. Apparently, WWE hadn't done one of these for like 10 years before this match between the two of them. Happy that they did not go with the red light, though I'm supposing that's more to do with the fact that they were in a stadium. It would be a little bit more difficult to do than in an arena. But I think this was necessary. Like, Daniel Bryan had welts all over his back like by the time the match was done because of the strap being whipped against him constantly.
That's probably why they haven't done it in a while. It's brutal, man.
I know, it can be. It can be. I like this match a lot. I don't think that the strap was used in a silly manner, which you can sometimes get with these matches. I think it was used effectively. They did a great job of making it seem like that Daniel Bryan could win without having to, deliver 6 running knees to the face of the Fiend and throw a million chairs on top of him and this, that, or the other, like Seth Rollins had to do inside Hell in a Cell. The Fiend continues to be a fantastic attraction for them.
Daniel Bryan, I think Daniel Bryan can pull a good match out of like a tree trunk.
Let me tell you something.
What I
mean? When Daniel Bryan was gone for those couple of years, I truly did not appreciate how much I missed Daniel Bryan. And then when Daniel Bryan came back, I was like, oh, that's right. He's one of the 3 best wrestlers of this generation of wrestlers. Yeah. You almost took him for granted.
Yeah.
Back then. But you're right. Like, I don't think he's capable of putting on less than a 3-star match with anybody.
Yeah.
No matter who it is.
This is the best thing for the Fiend character, because the Fiend still comes out looking strong. But like you said, he comes out as he seems beatable, where at first they were just kind of pushing the hell out of him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this was a great match. I really enjoyed it. I can watch Daniel Bryan wrestle. He can wrestle younglings as far as I'm concerned, and he would get a good match.
Yeah, like I said, just a really good match. He really is like this generation's Shawn Michaels, basically.
Yeah, man.
So
he's amazing.
Yeah, so that was a really good one. Also, Mandible Claw Slam, good finisher.
Yeah,
good finisher. So
yeah, nice little twist, man. Yeah. Nice little twist on an old favorite. I'm gonna choke you to death and give you a concussion.
So Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Raw World Championship. So here's the problem with this match. was a very good match. It's better than last year's match between the two of them at this same event, for my money. However, the problem is, because of the build-up, and because we got to see who won the Royal Rumble earlier in the evening, we watched this whole match where the outcome was absolutely not in doubt.
Yeah.
The only time I thought for even a millisecond that Asuka would win is when Becky Lynch feigned being knocked out by that kick, and I thought that she might have been legitimately knocked out. And I was like, the only thing they can do is to possibly like call the match and award her the title.
Yeah.
So other than that, I did not think for a second that anyone but Becky Lynch was going to win.
Yeah, and when things like that happen, you need to put on a good show, and I think these two did. I think that Asuka is, and Kairi Sane, I think they're criminally underused, and they're underused just because they don't speak the Queen's English. I feel like like Asuka is amazing, and she's another wrestler that just kind of brings it out of people. And the story that they were leading up to with Becky Lynch, just kind of like, yeah, I've beaten everybody. Now what? Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, you brought it. I gotta find my fire and all that, but it's true with Asuka. You know what I mean? Like, she can bring it out of you, and she brought a good match out of Becky Lynch, who, I don't hate Becky Lynch. But I'm not like enamored with Becky Lynch like I feel most people are.
Yeah, it has been an interesting year and a half with her, because I was kind of, when it first started, I didn't get why she had the crowd swell behind her to the like I thought her reaction, like the reason the crowd pulled behind her as much as they can is because it was more of an anti-Charlotte sentiment at first, and then it kind of grew into this thing, and it kind of capped off at WrestleMania last year, and then she's kind of been just going through it for the last year or so. Like, she's never really felt threatened to me, but she's also not like Goldberging people either, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like she's just dominating people whenever she wrestles them,
right? It's like to use the Austin analogy, right? Like, yeah, Austin was hot, but Austin had the ultimate adversary, Vince McMahon.
Right.
It doesn't get any bigger than Mr. McMahon.
Right. And it literally took them a year and a half to get them in the ring with each other.
Right. When you've got literally the whole company against you, like, that's where, the rattlesnake comes out. Whereas Becky is just kind of like, yeah, I'm the man, and I've proven it again and again.
Right, and again, that's why, even though her and Charlotte is same old shit, I think that they have an opening now to tell a more interesting story between the two of them, essentially. Because now, going into WrestleMania, since she has truly beaten everybody, Becky Lynch has, I don't know who's going to win that match. Truly, I don't.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. The main event, the men's Royal Rumble match, Brock Lesnar entering himself at number 1 to do the only thing that he felt was worthy of doing, and that is going the distance and winning the Royal Rumble. To what end, I have no idea. So look, there's a lot of people that really did not like the first half of this Royal Rumble match. My wife is one of them.
Really?
Yeah, she was like, I'm so tired of this. And I'm just like, but what you don't understand, the thing that makes this amazing is just how stupidly absurd this is.
Right.
Like this is so absurd. Like, it's not even funny. And they faked you out a couple of times. So it starts with Elias. Elias had a fantastic moment breaking the fourth wall, singing a song called Sacrificial Lamb as he was going down to the ring, knowing exactly what was happening. And I was here for Brock just being completely exacerbated with him as he was fucking malazing his way down in the ring. And then, Brock comes down, beats the shit out of him, throws him in the ring, and then throws him out of the ring. So Eric Rowan comes out, whatever. He lasted 2 seconds. Robert Roode comes out, whatever. He lasts 2 seconds. John Morrison comes out, whatever. He lasted 2 seconds. Like Brock Lesnar was just murdering people in the ring, basically. So then Kofi Kingston comes out, and people are like, "Oh shit! Like here we go! Like it's revenge time! Like Kofi's gonna hang in there," and he did. And then Rey Mysterio comes out, another guy that's had issues recently with Brock Lesnar, and people are like, "All right, I'm seeing the story beats." And then Big E comes out. And they triple team Brock Lesnar. They start the finisher parade on Brock Lesnar. They work together. And then all of a sudden, Brock Lesnar just eliminates all three of them.
All of a sudden, Brock Lesnar turns into an SNK boss. He read all of their inputs and was like, nope. I loved it. Dude, this is what I'm talking about when we talk about the Royal Rumble being an excellent storytelling device, because it does callbacks, it can start new feuds, it can continue feuds, it's amazing. And I loved how they booked the first half of this Brock Lesnar gauntlet match, where you have to establish that you have to reestablish that Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar, right? So the first 3, 4, 5 dudes, you come in, they get fed to Brock Lesnar. I mean, look, that's just how it is, right? But Kofi comes in, and like you said, everybody remembers, yeah, I remember that 6 seconds. It's payback time. And yeah, Kofi gets some licks in, but I'm still the boss, right? I'm still Shao Kahn. You can't just come in here and start punching me and think that I'm not going to hit you, right? And then Rey Mysterio comes in, and it's like, remember what he did to your son? Oh, snap. And then Big E comes in. Big E is trying to rally the troops, man. And it's amazing. And then you see that Brock Lesnar is being hit. Oh, he's getting tired, right? And all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, right? Just like a regular like combat sport fight, right? Like a flash knockout, right? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, he just gets this gust of adrenaline and just knocks these dudes out. Like it's great, man. I absolutely loved this first part, and then Cesaro's music comes out, and it's like, Cesaro is, as everyone has said in the WWE, pound for pound, he's probably the most powerful wrestler there, and he's an indie darling, right? And I thought Cesaro would have lasted a little longer. Right?
No, he was in and out, basically. In and out.
He was in there for like 20 seconds.
Right. But Lace, and for fuck's sake, like, you even made Shelton Benjamin coming out worth something in the Royal Rumble because of their history.
Right. And that's storytelling, man. Like that's WWE paying attention to the things that it has done in the past, right? Shelton Benjamin was relevant. And look, everybody saw it coming, right? Everybody saw what was going to happen coming a mile away. But you know what? Sometimes you want to get what you know you're going to get.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's okay. And then, Shinsuke Nakamura comes out, former Royal Rumble winner. He gets sacrificed at the altar of Lesnar. MVP comes back.
My son
chases Paul Heyman around the ring for some reason. I don't know what that's all about. I don't remember them having like a thing with each other back in the day. But then he gets Brock Lesnar puts the kibosh on that and throws that MVP.
Yeah, he dragged him in and threw him out, man.
Right. This brought joy to my heart. This next thing. Because the next guy that comes out is Keith Lee. And aside from another guy later in the match, this was the biggest pop of the Rumble, was when Keith Lee came out.
This brought joy to your heart and blood to Vince McMahon's penis, because that was a lot of beef in there, man. There was a lot of beef in there. And Keith Lee, I mean, he knocked him down, right?
Keith Lee, more than anybody else I've ever seen, has the greatest wrestling poker face in the world.
Yeah.
Like you could put him in the ring with like fucking Hulk Hogan and he would still look cool as a cucumber.
Yeah,
coming out to that ring. Like he fucking owns it. Yeah, I mean he even got a little bit of as much of applauded as you can for Brock Lesnar on his way out. Like Brock Lesnar had a really inquisitive look when Keith Lee was running down the aisle. Tell Paul he was like, "Who is this motherfucker?" when he gets in there. And then Braun Strowman comes out. Now, Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar have a lot of history, of course. The only thing I did not like here is that this was a Sting caliber Mensa decision from Keith Lee and Braun Strowman to fight each other. With Brock Lesnar still in the ring.
Yeah, guys. I mean, I know there's a lot of testosterone in that ring, but you gotta think, man.
Right. Like Brock Lesnar's tired, he's beat up. You guys could eliminate him and then fight each other, but no, you're gonna fight each other, have a hoss fight, and then you both get tossed out because you're idiots. Just like Sting, like I said. Oh, sure, I'll team with Ric Flair. Oh man, why'd he punch me in the face?
I'll team up with the dirtiest player in the game.
Right. God damn it.
How'd you get that nickname?
With my blood rival. So then Ricochet comes out, and then Drew McIntyre comes out. Now, here's the only thing that I think that they did poorly with this Brock Lesnar thing. So, of course, the obvious callback to what Brock Lesnar was doing was the Austin 97 Royal Rumble. And the thing that's so memorable about that Royal Rumble is Austin is chilling, sitting on the turnbuckle without a care in the world. And then they have the camera close in on his face. And all of a sudden you hear the guitar riff of Bret Hart's music. And he's like, oh shit. like it takes that caliber of a wrestler to do that. I don't know what John Cena was doing this weekend, but they really should have had like a John Cena type for that specific moment. I feel like. Yeah,
I could see that.
Like how Lesnar got ditched because Ricochet gave him a low blow and then McIntyre Claymore kicked him out of the ring, which was fucking awesome. Was cool, but it felt it didn't live up to the moment that they were creating for that situation.
Yeah, I kind of see that. It'll be very interesting with these two down the line.
It will be, and like I said, they laid the seeds immediately.
Yeah,
for that match. like at that point in time, you could have just booked Drew McIntyre to win the fucking match because it was very clear.
Yeah,
what the future held.
Yeah. Once I told myself whoever eliminates Brock is probably going to win the Royal Rumble.
Yes. So we'll skip ahead a bit to number 21. And Edge is a liar. He is a lying son of a bitch. That guy. So there was rumors flying around that he was medically cleared and he was going to be showing up again soon, that he had signed a new contract and all this stuff. And Edge's like, I don't know where the fuck this stuff's coming from, but I have not been cleared to wrestle. Well, he lied.
And you know what? Good.
Good. Yeah.
Good.
Legit surprises are always welcome.
Yeah, man. We don't need to know everything.
And look, man, like he is a guy who wears his emotions on his face. Like he can't hide how he's feeling.
Oh
very
yeah,
well.
he almost welled up. He almost started crying.
He got me. Like when he paused like halfway down the ring before, like when he kind of stopped and really like took it all in.
Yeah.
Like man. What was going on? I'm just like, fuck.
Right, man. I was like, oh, come on, dude. Like, because Edge, like, I don't know if Edge is anybody's like all-time favorite wrestler, but everybody likes Edge. And because that guy is a performer. Like he and you can tell he has a lot of work ethic to want to be like, you could tell he wants to be the guy. He wants match of the night. He wants people to remember him. You know what I mean?
And again, it's that combined with the fact that it was not it was taken away from him. Like, it wasn't his choice to leave. Like, he left because he had to leave because of injury. And he didn't get to go out on his terms. Yeah. And so I'm really happy for him that he will now, however long this is going to last, because I have a feeling that last night was not it for him. However long this lasts, I'm really looking forward to it. And also, if he can come back at 46 years of age with a fucking six pack, what are you doing, Chris Jericho? That man hasn't wrestled for 9 years, and he's coming out more cut than you got going on. So,
yeah. Now, I will say, are you familiar with "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia"?
Yes.
Edge looks like an extremely ripped version of Rickety Cricket. His face has seen some shit.
He has seen some shit. Yeah, that is true.
I'm very happy that he appears to be back for at least the foreseeable future. Like, this doesn't appear to be a one-off, and I'm very happy for him because he, like I said, man, he's a dude that you could tell he just loved wrestling, and like you said, it was stolen from him. Yeah.
So because we had the so many sacrifices at the feet of Brock Lesnar. The back end of this Rumble was overloaded. Like there came a point where there was like, I think when Seth Rollins came out at 30, there were like 8 guys left in the match, and all of them were like viable winners of the match, which does not happen all of the time. But yeah, so a couple other things. Let me tell you something. I did not know that I would enjoy late stage Randy Orton as much as I do. That man is delightful in his shithousery. like literally, he almost snuck up on Edge and threw him out. Edge is like, "What the fuck, man?" He's like, "It's me. Come on." Like, you knew what this was. It's fine. You caught me. I'm not worried about it. And then, like I said, Edge got to turn it around on him, turn the tables on him. Instead,
and then, did you see his reaction?
Yeah, he was just like, you got me.
What are you gonna do?
What can I say?
I'd have did it to you too.
I really like this version of Randy Orton. He is a delight. He is a delight. Rollins has gone full shitlord. I'm also here for that. Like I said, make Seth Rollins as despicable as you possibly can. He works so much better as a guy that you just despise.
He is the best chicken shit heel, man. Like, this is his lane. Like, him being a company guy, like a John Cena type super, like, nah, man, that's not you. This is the best Seth Rollins.
Yeah. And like I said, I love the moment where, Joe gets thrown out because of his crew, and Aleister Black gets thrown out because of his crew, and Kevin Owens gets thrown out because of his crew, and they're fighting up the ramp, and, we'll see more of that down the road. But now Rollins is trapped in there with Orton and Edge and Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns, and he realizes that he's the guy that nobody wants in the ring, and he's like, shit, my crew's gone. Get back here. What are you guys doing? Like, you're leaving me all by myself. And then of course he tries to fucking appeal to Roman Reigns. Like, come on, man, we're the Shield. Yeah. Let's team up together.
after he gave him a stomp.
Right.
Come on.
Like that is exactly what I want from Seth Rollins. Like I said, and we've seen it before. Like, we did like the same. I'll never forget. There was a fatal 4-way match between him. It was the 3 dudes in the Shield and Randy Orton. Like, that was the match, and it was for the world title. And there was a point in the match where the 3 Shield guys teamed up together and powerbombed Randy Orton through an announce table. And he was like, yeah, he's like, we did it. We're the Shield guys. And like, they did all this. And he was trying to get to do the fight out. And like, Ambrose and Reigns are like, hey, we're going to beat the shit out of you now. This is not happening. So like I said, Edge gets thrown out by Reigns, which the crowd really wanted to boo Roman Reigns, so that just added fuel to the fire. And then Drew McIntyre throws him out. So Drew McIntyre is getting his shot.
I really felt for that dude, man. Like, that was another emotional moment, right? Where, and Michael Cole even brought it up. He was like, "This man was fired from WWE, but he fought hard and he came back. He transformed himself into a gigantic human being." And but yeah, man, I'm happy for that dude, man. Like, I think he has personality. He just hasn't been able to really kind of unleash it. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's funny, you and I got to see kind of the beginnings of this, because he's been kind of rolling out this new, like, I'm not a douchebag Drew McIntyre persona, where like he's like playing to the crowd a little bit more, and being a little bit more carefree and just kind of being himself a little more. We went to a house show about a month ago, you and I did. Yeah. And got to see the groundwork being laid for this, which is kind of cool to see it pop out. But yeah, so like I said, Drew McIntyre, and again, it's interesting for me to observe, because I remember, post Benoit, I fell out of wrestling for a little while, as a lot of us did, because that was rough. And then CM Punk kind of brought me back into it. The pipe bomb promo, of course, was I got my attention, started watching again after that. Yeah. And the first event that I went to afterwards was TLC 2011 down at the Royal Farms Arena here in Baltimore. And the dark match was Alex Riley taking on Drew McIntyre. And Alex Riley was the over guy in the match. Like Drew McIntyre was on his way down. And it's kind of just cool just to see, 9 years later, how things change for folks. And like I said, the right guy won, I think, here. I think that when you go through, there really wasn't a better choice to have a Rumble winner than McIntyre. I thought this was going to happen a year ago, honestly. I guess it just took me a little longer to get there. But like I said, he'll now get a really high profile match at fucking WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. He's probably going to win. I think that the build up between them should be interesting, especially if we get to see his personality really just unleashed, because he's a charming motherfucker. Drew McIntyre can be.
Yeah, he is, man.
And so yeah, it was a really fun Rumble match. I really did enjoy the totality of it, even with the Brock Lesnar shithousery going on.
Yeah, I love that part, man. I loved it. Maybe I'm on an island, but I thought it was, because you don't see that often. You know what I mean? And which is one of the, Brock Lesnar never wrestles well because he gets booked like that. So
well, and again, people were like, people were bitching about, oh, it's making Kofi look bad. It's making Shinsuke Nakamura look bad. It made Keith Lee look bad. Like, no one's getting hurt by getting tossed out by Brock Lesnar. Like, come on.
Right. No. All right, yo. All right. I mean, I'm very curious to see how people would book certain matches and book certain people, because you can't push everybody.
Well, and the other thing too is that, and I was making this point in the thread that we did last night, is that you have to keep your top guys looking strong, because that way when Drew McIntyre beats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, that's going to feel like a huge deal because of how strong Brock Lesnar has been booked.
Right.
Like if Becky Lynch manages to overcome Charlotte at WrestleMania, or vice versa, that's going to be a big deal because of how strong each other have been booked leading into this. Like it's necessary to make those guys at the top of the card built up, because otherwise when they lose, you won't care.
Exactly. You don't have 20 years worth of, legendary matches like with The Undertaker. When Brock Lesnar beat the streak, like, people couldn't believe it, right? Like they thought somebody botched it somewhere. And then when the Titantron came up 21-1, they were like, I guess this is for real. And yeah, it was. And it was shocking. And it showed you, oh, holy shit, Brock Lesnar is the guy that you need to beat now. And look, I like how they're booking Brock Lesnar. I don't. It makes the title feel like it's worth something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always these guys chasing after this mythical dude, right?
Right, and by the way, like credit to him as well, because it was boring when he was just like when he would show up on Raw and just stand there while Paul Heyman talked. Now, like he's acting like a shithead, basically.
Yeah, he's being a dick, man.
He's dancing around the ring, like he did the whole fucking deal with the boombox Money in the Bank briefcase and all that shit. Like that's the kind of stuff that we were missing before. Where Brock Lesnar's like, I'm so fucking on top of things right now that I can just troll everybody. Like, fuck all you guys. I'm the best. I'm not going anywhere. Boo me if you want. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Just really laying into it.
Yeah, man. Like he was being booked like Ivan Drago,
right?
And he just needs to be booked like a super strong dickhead.
So, yes, like I said, I think that the Rumble matches themselves were both very good. Unfortunately, the other matches on the card, except for Fiend, Daniel Bryan, probably didn't quite live up to the billing as much as we had hoped, I guess we could say.
Yeah, but that's one thing about the Royal Rumble is that, it doesn't, there aren't a lot of matches because now that there are 2 Royal Rumbles, you got to kind of cut the fat out.
And that being said, like you can count on one hand the amount of Royal Rumble matches that are like legendary that weren't the Royal Rumble match. Like you got the Undertaker Shawn Michaels casket match, you got Kurt Angle Benoit, and I'm already petering out as far as options for you. So that would be an interesting list for someone to compile the top 5 non-Royal Rumble matches.
Yeah.
So that is our review of the Royal Rumble. We will see you again for one of these after WrestleMania, which I cannot believe is a little more than 2 months away.
Yeah.
At this point, it always sneaks up on me every fucking year. But thank you, Micah, for hanging in a little bit longer. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you all the next time.
See ya.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here, and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.